In today's episode,
there's two sides to human beings. There's basically the pragmatic side.
Yeah.
It's not even rational, it's pragmatic. Pragmatic is basically the idea that I will make the best decision possible based on some rationale that I figure out. Facts, truths, right? That's what being pragmatic is. So it's pragmatic. You can call it rational if you want to really make it basic, right?
Yeah.
But let's say factual. So there's a factual side of life, right? And relationships, factual sides, facts. And then there's the emotional side of relationships, and those are feelings.
Yeah.
And what I try to do when I'm hearing something from somebody, which one are they coming at me from?
Yeah.
Is it super rational, or is it feelings and emotional? And if it's feelings and emotional, I need to listen. I need to not respond, because I need to understand what part of it is rational and pragmatic, and and usually the core of some emotion or feeling is something really rational.
Yeah.
It could be like, you told me something 5 years ago and it's still on my mind, and the stuff I'm saying at you has to do with that.
Completely.
But they don't know that. It's just something on their mind that's like deeply rooted. So to me, I'm now just finding the filter and figuring out what I need to do. In the past, I didn't know the difference.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that there's these two things going on with people and myself. And so now I split up all relationships into the two and say, okay, if we're having a super emotional relationship right now, it's probably not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's probably not.
Yeah.
Even if it's an extreme like love or something like that, there's probably something there that we're both solving for that we might not understand because it's emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
So in some of my relationships today, it's been a challenge and an opportunity to cut out a lot of that and say, hey, like, and this evolves over time. You don't always realize it.
Yeah.
But you kind of put that aside because you got caught up in that.
Yeah.
And then you make it a very pragmatic, rational thing. And that's not to say that I don't feel things, or you shouldn't feel things, or you shouldn't be emotional or any of that. You can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
But when you need to make decisions and you need options and you have choices you need to think through, it isn't going to happen through emotion and feelings.
Yeah.
That might spur some kind of change, but at the end of the day, change happens in a very rational and factual, truthful manner.
Yeah.
When the change is actually happening.
Yeah.
Whatever caused the change might not be like that.
And that might be the love, that might be the other emotions. I get you.
Right. So just trying to split that up has been really helpful in any relationship. But whether it's somebody that's reporting to me or somebody I'm reporting to, if I ever report to anyone, even though I don't, or the parallel folks in my life, my co-founders, my partners, or even my wife in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah,
and
for
like,
sure.
so I'm just, the way that starts is by me being conscious of where am I coming from.
Yeah.
That helps me realize where other people are coming from when they come at me.
Do you mind me asking, have you ever gone to therapy before?
I've definitely done therapy, and I've definitely learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
And one of the main things I learned is that it can be really helpful to talk to a neutral party.
For sure.
That doesn't give a crap about what's going on in your life.
They're
except
not your
they're
brother,
just
your
there
sister, your
They're just there
cousin.
to help you, and there's different extremes of whether they give advice or not.
Yeah.
You know, my extreme is I'd rather have someone that doesn't give advice
'Cause you just,
and helps me think through things for myself. But there's other therapists that are much more focused on the advice side, which is totally fine, whether it's coaching or whatever. So I'm a fan of any opportunity I can have to talk to a neutral third party about something that I'm dealing with.
That's great. I'm similar. And one of the thing that you mentioned there before, which I've thought about and has helped me a lot, might be useful for someone listening, is separating any situation, whether that's a relationship or just your own personal thoughts, into something that happened, and separating the story from the facts.
Yep.
So story is often the emotional part. And it's not to say, of course, emotions are incredibly important in their own way. They bring the nuance and the color to what makes life
they make
worth
life
living.
exciting in some ways.
Exactly. But like often, let's say something bad happens and you'll say, oh, well, so-and-so didn't turn up for this meeting and that must mean they want to quit the company that I started. I'm using that as an extreme example.
Yeah.
But in that case, the fact was they didn't turn up. The story you created in your head, which we all do, is because this. And that is the part where when you can separate the two, you can write down, okay, well, this is what actually happened. And then when you speak to them, you don't assume, you figure it out.
Just
and a lot of
facts.
the time it's never the case. It was actually your own insecurities and other stuff, like maybe I'm not worthy enough for them to be at my company. I'm already feeling imposter syndrome, like all those different things. And not to overcomplicate it, but I've always found that to be a really helpful tool in my kind of like mental thinking, to be able to say, this is how I'm going to make a decision based on what I do know. And if there's emotional part that I don't fully know yet, maybe I need to do some more digging to figure out the fact. So I think that was probably similar to what you were thinking about.
I think people say get in touch with your emotions or get in touch with your feelings. I would say get in touch with the facts.
Yeah.
What you know to be true and what someone else would agree with you for it to be true. So that's really getting in touch with the truth.